Huddle is a leading performance analysis company empowering sports teams to achieve their goals with best-in-class software and hardware. Sports are a powerful force. To us, it's not only about winning or losing, it's about what playing sports gives back to everyone involved. Our passion is to help coaches, athletes, analysts, recruiters, leaders of sports organizations, and fans get the most out of every moment. Come visit us at huddle.com. Welcome to Global Take, presented by School Rubric, a show about the international teaching experience. Teaching internationally is one of the best decisions you can make as an educator. In this show, we will meet teachers and administrators from around the globe living and working internationally. Our hope is that their stories and experiences will inspire you to explore the world of education. We will learn about all aspects of international teaching, from becoming an international teacher to what countries are the best fit for you, to the challenges of being away from your home country. Come take this unforgettable journey to the world of international schools with Global Take, presented by School Rubric.
Hello and welcome to Global Take. My name is Nick DeForest and I am happy to be the host again here on School Rubric with a topic that I absolutely love and deal with all the time, and that is marketing and branding athletic programs. We called the title A Sign of a Better Program because that's where it started for me over 10 years ago when I started to design signage for our athletic area and gyms that have made a massive impact on our programs. I think even if you're not an athlete or involved in sports, you know that athletics has a great potential as a community builder and improving school spirit. So we're going to talk about that today. Of course, we'll talk about some internal and external marketing. You know, who's our target audience for some of the things we're doing. And, you know, really athletics were marketing departments for schools before there ever was marketing departments. You know, think of all the athletes and coaches we send to visiting schools and how they are ambassadors for us. But also when we host tournaments, you know, the hundreds of people from different communities that come onto our campus. And in international school life, the changeover is great with families and teachers changing and moving schools. That could potentially lead to different teachers and different families coming to your school when they make a move. So it's not just me today. We have three other great athletic administrators on the panel with me today, two returners and one brand new guest. So welcome, guys. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
That right there is the newbie, Bryan Fischer. He is the assistant AD at the International School of Brussels in Belgium. You may remember Claudia down below. She is the director of athletics and activities at Escola, Americana, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. And of course, Chris Mott is the athletics director at the International School, Bangkok. Chris will wrap up our show as well. He will spotlight ISB, one of the two ISBs on the show with us today in our school spotlight at the end. But let's get to know these three a little bit more and roll our first question.
All right, let's get to know your school a bit. Briefly, what types of things do you do to market your athletic program, and how has that changed in recent years?
Awesome. Claudia, would you kick us off, please?
Well, first of all, I think that having a great relationship with your marketing and communications department is very important. I used to have that in my previous school. So as soon as I came to year J, I started having meetings with the communications and marketing department. They trusted me, and we were able to open the second, let's say, official Instagram account, Facebook page. And that has opened way more possibilities for parents to be connected to what's happening at school. We've been like, I was used to in my previous school, international schools, that we would travel and we would have streaming and organizing these events where you would take care of all the different details. And here in Brazil, the American schools go to this kind of resort lodge. It's very cool. And all the schools go there and they compete. And thanks to these social media accounts, I was able to stream the event, and that just builds a lot of spirit, pride, and encouragement with it well too. So, and thanks to social media, also WhatsApp groups and having the parents connected with videos. And I think that's been, that was a big one. And then with the communications and marketing department, it was great to talk more about how to change the curve appeal of the school. And we're starting to work on a athletics branding book, so that we have more freedom to with the font, colors, and this and that. It's going to take it to another level too.
That's great. Some great improvements. Chris, how about you in Bangkok?
Yeah, like Klaus said, like great things like that, and social media and just getting engaged. Just to add on to that, I suppose we dress up as a panther and we get out into the community and drive around in our golf cart and hand out some stickers or give out some temporary tattoos or talk to people or anything we can to kind of get our logos out there and to really celebrate what it is to be a panther.
Right. Okay, Bryan, the other ISB.
Yeah, just to add on to what Chris was saying there, what does it mean to be at our school? What does it mean to be a Raider? And prior to using the tools that we use, the Facebook and Instagram and Raiders TV on YouTube, those are some of the tools that we use. The stuff that drives our promotion and our marketing is thinking about what our identity is and what makes us what makes us proud of our program. So we're very proud of the size of our program, the opportunity that we have for student athletes to participate. If a student athlete wants to participate on a team at any time of year, they can. Obviously, some teams we do make cuts, but there's always an opportunity for kids to play sports at our school. So that's part of our identity. And the second piece is, do we have challenges for those that want to take sport to another level, for the elite athletes? So, that's all part of our identity, and that drives, how we manage Facebook and social media and the signage. It's all part of that package.
That's great. Yeah, and stems from there, right? That's that identity. That's great. Recently I mentioned in the intro about the signs. So I've had lots of signs a while, but recently Addition is trying to get them everywhere. So like on the padding of the volleyball poles, around the light poles on the field, just anywhere when something needs to be updated, I'm sticking a logo on there and some words, just to drive home the message even more. And actually our most recent addition that's going to help a lot is Huddle. So glad to see Huddle as a sponsor here for this show, because we've started to use them to stream our games, and not just for outside people watching, but also internally for the coaches. The kids can get video clips from the games now through Huddle. So that's a big way we're just starting to market our athletics. Great little intro about our schools. Let's go to the next question.
Do we even need to think about marketing and branding our athletic programs? Is it simply the icing on the top of the cake, or an essential way to build school pride?
Yeah, 3 athletic directors or 4. I think I know the answer, but I think every school has a variant of how they go about it. So let's hear from you, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Absolutely. I think it's essential, right? We've got to get ourselves out there and let our kids and be proud of our kids and put them on social media and do spotlights and do everything we can to celebrate who they are and what they're doing and all the efforts and everything they're putting in that we're so proud of, and just happy to have them in our communities. I don't always think about it as like marketing more than celebrating kind of our kids and all the achievements. So the question says marketing, but I kind of look at it more like, how can we acknowledge and make sure everyone understands just how much effort and time and energy all these kids are putting in, because they're all they're all very busy.
Yeah, that's a great addition and spin on marketing, right? Yeah, perfect. Claudia, how about you?
Yeah, I think it's really important what Chris was saying. I second that, of course. But I also feel that marketing a program is not just like the images and the signage and everything. I think it's also how you, or what do the kids take home from our program, and that's the magic of education-based athletics. You know, we at ERJ we're also the Panthers, and the Panthers never quit. And I think that motto just really helped us move forward and keep our athletics and activities program alive also during the pandemic. And I think that's a big one too. I mean, it's not just the mascot, it's not just like the signage, it's also how you market your program through your kids. And I mean, actually not market, but aren't we there for them? We are in education-based athletics, and that's a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Bryan.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about building culture, and it's essential to building culture. So putting that message out, consistency of message is important as well, and consistency of branding is important. So as our brand has evolved on social media, in particular on Instagram, that's ISB_Raiders at Instagram if you're interested. Little plug. But as the brand evolves on social media, there's a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of trial and error with what works, with logo, with color, with design, with graphics, what gets engagement, what doesn't. There's certain areas on campus that I like to take pictures because it doesn't just profile what's happening on the field or the courts and those successes, but we're profiling our school. So right. There's angles and shots that work a lot better than others. So as that has evolved, I've really just kind of gotten to a point where I won't take pictures from certain areas, and I have this level that's now on brand, and every picture that I post has to be on that level. So I'll take so many pictures of a particular on Friday night or a Saturday morning, and I'll be so selective as to what goes out for social media.
Right. Yeah. A picture with a container in the background may not be as nice as some trees well, Bryan, before I weigh in, who imposes those guidelines? Is that, from your marketing department or from you personally?
Yeah, there's a bit of both there. There are conversations obviously that happen with our communications department, and they have a lot of really, really good guidelines that drive the ISB brand. But the growth of the Raiders brand is kind of it's a brand within a brand. And as it's evolved, we've sort of pushed the boundaries of what works for Raiders and what works for ISB. And so there is some conversations back and forth. But as the Raiders brand has evolved, I know what works really well. I know what students like. I know what posts will get more engagement. So there's a lot of, it's just trial and error.
Sure. Oh, that's great. For us, I think, we don't need to market externally. We're not trying to get more spectators and things. When everything I do is for the people we have, as we've kind of hit off, for our coaches, our parents, our students, and that then trickles externally. I think, we treat our kids right and make a great environment for our kids. Then the people that come on campus that play us see that, and it works, it trickles down. And, Bryan, you mentioned consistency of branding, and that was one of my main things in the area of uniforms. About 8 years ago, we went to Kukri because Kukri could supply all of our teams in the same color and same style of uniforms, all from one place. So for me, that was, one color of green on the volleyball team, one color of green on the soccer. Then that model runs out every 3 years. So that's one big thing for us, to make us feel like one big athletic program, where all the nights we all have the same quality style of uniform. One team's not getting something better, getting Nike, while the other one gets Arima, for example.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, but we have some live viewers that we want to thank, obviously, for tuning in and encourage to write comments. You can just say hi. You can write a question, anything you want. I'd love to hear from you down below. So if you're out there and you're watching, or you're just scrolling by, stop for a second and ask a question. We'll see one from Shelly here pop up. Let's say that. Yeah, social media negative and positive branding. I would just answer quick. Maybe you three guys think about if you want to chime in. But for me, we never post results of games, only final tournament results. So if we have a school in, we'll post about the game, but never the result. Any of you guys?
What's the rationale behind that, Nick?
That they're just exhibition games. Doesn't matter. Shouldn't feel pressure to win. All the coaches should get all the kids into the game, and not have to worry that it's going to go on social media after that they lost a tight game because they made a change or something. Right. Yeah.
It's interesting because we do like to post results. It's a celebration of success of the program. There is a piece of this where we're also marketing our program to prospective families. So there's opportunities for students to have success in athletics and excel in athletics. So results, we do tend to post results fairly consistently. We won't post results that are ridiculous, that sort of make it seem like we're rubbing it in and that kind of thing. That's not the intent. It's just simply to celebrate how we do on a competitive level.
Mm-hmm. And you post if you lose. You post a score if you lose and if you win, right? I mean, the same.
Yeah, we post. I mean, I post pictures and videos of all of our games and all of our results. Yeah.
Okay. What about you guys? To keep away from that negative social media was Shelly's question.
Well, here in Brazil, we haven't had interscholastic activities in the last year and a half, but we're moving forward. So I don't remember that of losing and winning, but we definitely use social media to build character, build spirit, build Panther pride. And even if we do not have we haven't won, we always try to highlight our Panthers performances and how well they did, or some aspect to build more encouragement, pride. Yeah.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah. Firstly, hi, Shelly. It's Shelly's at KOS in Bangkok, so she's a local. We're on the same time zone. But hey, Shelly. We're kind of lucky. We have someone who does all the social media posts, who works, in the athletics office as well, and she's a lot younger than I am, and she keeps it positive. She's highlighting it. We have her, and then we also have our athletics council. They run a lot of the posts, and they do a lot of the highlights and just celebrating kids and putting them out there. Hey, these are our seniors, these are our sophomores, come and get involved. Spirit Night's coming up. And I think that's how we keep it positive. We just want to keep it moving forward and make sure that we're sharing it out and sharing the love across all the sports and all the seasons. And yeah, we don't focus on results, and I've never really thought about that before, but it's an interesting idea. But I think that's how we keep it positive, is just keeping it real and making sure we have everybody involved.
Great. All right. Well, great, guys. So that spontaneous question from Shelly, that's great. Keep them coming if you're out there. But we're going to roll to our next one.
Not every community member is a fan of athletics. Do you think that you can do too much and possibly alienate other aspects of your community, especially considering the costs?
Okay, Bryan, you get to start us off because you're doing so much great stuff on that Instagram and other things. What do you see?
Yeah, this is a great question. Both Lee Rossi, the athletic director, we have a very similar take on sort of program growth and building and that kind of thing. And I mean, I don't think we can ever do too much, but that too much does need to have a focus. So, what are a couple of things that we are focusing on this year in order to build? As we are building and as our program grows, it is important to have the conversations with other members of the community, other departments in the community to, I think, to not only model what we want, but to have those conversations to celebrate their successes as well. One of the things that we did at the start of this year is we collaborated with the arts department. One of the leaders in the arts department had a fantastic idea of getting a video of music teachers and arts teachers, as well as our coaches. And we were in the same video, and all of the coaches were playing musical instruments. I did a mime. Lee Roski was doing ballet, which was a sight to behold. And then all the music teachers and arts teachers were playing sports. And so the intent behind the video was, to the students, you can do both. We're going to set aside a week where you can audition for 2 days and then you can try out for 2 days, so you can do both going forward, and to celebrate that collaboration. So it was a really, really good way to kind of start the year, particularly out of COVID. And yeah, you're just building bridges. And as you grow as a program, as athletics grows, we hope to be a model for everybody.
Right. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Claudia, you are athletics and activities at your school. So do you see this?
And that's a huge plus, right? Because I get to, everybody falls into my umbrella, and it's great because I get to acknowledge everyone. And just like Bryan said, it's a collaborative work. In the past, I understand there was just an athletics director and all the other activities fell under the umbrella of the assistant principal. But I was brought to UJ to build a robust athletic and activities program. And that's been great because I have been able to learn more about activities and highlight those kids that don't shine on the fields or on the courts. And that's been great, with a clear focus, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Chris, what about you? You're a big school.
Yeah, we're a big school, and along with big schools come big programs. And you know, our arts department or our activities department, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm trying to keep up with them. You know, they're so well versed in how to promote things, and we see a lot of social media and a lot of posters and a lot of energy spent towards that. And I feel really confident that we do share that out. But I think it's really important to be conscious of it as well, because you know, we want all our Panthers or all our communities to feel celebrated and feel the love, and we don't want to just kind of direct it all towards one part. So yeah, I think, you know, sharing it out and we don't, you know, we have athletics and activities in different offices, but we have a great relationship and we keep in contact, and we make sure that we're sharing those spaces and make sure everyone's getting everything they need, because we're all Panthers and same.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. You all mentioned if you're not working together in the same office, you need to work closely together, right? And because I believe athletics can be polarizing, right? If you're not from it, you know, they get so much money, they get this, their kids miss so much school. And I think if you don't have an activities director at your school, and many schools don't, that would be one step forward, is give them the attention. You know, if it's just up to teachers running the activity teams, it's hard. It's hard to do that and hard to promote. And I think an activity director can help that equalization of programs, and also with the budget. You know, how much money do they get when you host an activity tournament? Does it look and feel like an athletic tournament? So they get the same kind of experience, right? And I think that varies a lot from school to school, but is really important to reach all those kids and make them feel like they're important, and they're Knights and Panthers and Raiders, right? Yeah, we have another question from Kirby. I think it's going to be a short answer if we can pop that up before we move into our next one. If we had to pick one thing, our wow factor, might be hard to narrow down, but what do you think it would be? Why would students come to ISB, Chris, instead of Shelley's school, as an example?
I don't want to answer that, but I think we all have different things. I think the wow factor, I mean, I'm relatively new. This is only my second year. And while I knew a lot about the school before I came, it's hard to describe the facilities here. The facilities here are amazing. You know, there's just the amount of space and availability that kids have or community have is astronomical and something I haven't seen before. So definitely the wow factor is for me would be the facility.
Yeah, your inside golf ranges made me say, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Claudia, how about you? What's your wow factor?
I think our motto, Panthers Never Quit. And it really took it to another level with the pandemic. Through the high and low moments, our Panthers were there. We were able to keep our athletics and activities department with many activities, and we were always highlighting the accomplishments of our athletes, even if it was virtually. And facilities, we've made a lot of improvements, and that's great too. But I think Panthers Never Quit is a motto that keeps us up here, and the parents like that, and that's how they transmit it to other families.
That's great. Bryan, what about you?
I'd say the diversity of our program. We have sports that are not commonly offered by other schools. We have American football, we have field hockey. Our current director is very supportive of health and wellness. So along the lines of facilities, we've recently purchased a strong box. Coming out of COVID, we were looking for ways that our community could work out, not being indoors. And the strong box is such a fantastic addition to our facilities. So that's going to be used by teams, classes, and it's unreal. It's great. Diversity of the program and growth of the program is quite big.
I think you could list 20 wow things about your program. It's great. Definitely jealous. For me, our facilities are really not as good as Chris or Bryan's, but I would say that is our wow factor. Coming in and walking into our gym area, it is plastered. You realize you're in a athletics area. It feels different, with a recognition plaques, memorial, storyboard about our Mike Malloy gym. You feel like you're in a different place, and especially for local people, the local community, when they come in, it's unlike any other Austrian gym, so they pop when they come in. So although it's not as impressive as others, it's still our wow factor. So thanks, Kirby. And let's go to our last one.
What has made the most impact on your athletic program, or is that even measurable? What is one thing you think all programs should do?
Yeah, similar to wow, but definitely could be a real different answer. Biggest impact, Bryan.
I would say the growth at the lower levels. Lee Roski has been adamant over the past 6 years to build our U14 program and to build our JV program. So we have a ton of teams at those levels in all the sports, and it basically creates a foundation upon which we can build. And we've really seen success at the varsity level because we have that growth at the lower levels. So it's been fun to watch and see that. And I've only been here a couple of years as well, but just even over the last couple of years, you can really see the effect that's had on the rest of the program.
Great. Oh, that's great. Claudia, how about you?
I second Bryan there. We have the Little Panthers program. I think starting that program, I have 2 campuses too, so I always had to balance. Balance the activities from one campus to another, and we've been able to build a very big Little Panthers activities and athletics, and they're the foundation for our teams in middle school and high school, and I think that that area was missing. On the other side, I think that the social media part and all these channels, that all these services, video conferencing and everything, I think it also helped in the area of marketing, I'd say, to build our program more and get more engagement from the community.
Great. I mean, both you guys were talking about having people play. We want more participation, right? We want the students to play and then be happy while they're playing, right? So starting from the ground up and instilling those values on the younger students only helps as they move up. So that's great. Chris, what about you?
I got 2, but I'll mention them really quick. Number 1, I think, would be equal access. Just giving everybody the opportunity to access everything they want to access, whether that's athletics, activity, anything at all they want to get themselves into, there should be there. And I think to build on both the answers earlier, I think a clear pathway of where my child comes in at grade 1, 5, 10, what is the pathway for whatever sport or activity that I've chosen to be a part of, and what does that look like over the entire year, and how do I do that? Like, just, it's very clear. There's no bumps, there's no hiccups. This is what I can do, and go forward.
Right. Well, for me, it's really people starting to really care about all the little details. Nothing's too small. Small little add-ons to the tournaments. Like I said, the logos everywhere. Just every little thing. Top-notch equipment. When we buy things that last longer. Little add-ons like, well, it's not little, but huddle. So that really, my boss, Andy Harrison, and myself, having time and a desire to make all the little things top-notch for our students. I think that then trickled over and continues to the students, but to the coaches, and they bring little things to us because they know nothing's too small, no little improvements too small. Well, let's go back around and answer the other part of that question. And that's, what do you think one thing all programs should do? Bryan, you want to start us off again? So we go back around?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, from a marketing and promotion standpoint, I think all programs should use YouTube to broadcast games. And I don't mean just live stream, but actually broadcast them with live commentating. So you can do so much within that platform from a branding standpoint to push your program. And kids love it. Kids love being part of the program. So as that, as Raiders TV will grow, we want to get more, students involved on the tech side of it, commentating side of it. And, those broadcasts will get huge traction. So it's been really, we're at sort of the entry level, if you will, with it, because we just launched it just prior to COVID. But we're just, we had another broadcast recently. It was fantastic. So yeah, if that's available to you, you should use it.
That's great. Great tip. All right, Claudia.
I think it's important that we understand that we are Panthers not only after school or during the games. So I believe in including in building spirit, building this inspiration, this character, not only after school, but during the day. So inviting all the stakeholders to have being part of our program, buy into it, and continue what, just like I say, we're education-based athletics and we do what they're doing during the day. I want them also to know what we're doing after school so that they can also inspire the kids during the day with all this essential, character building aspects of our program.
Co-curricular, not extracurricular anymore, for sure. Yeah. Chris, how about you?
I'm going to go with student voice, student leadership, opportunities for kids to be involved and direct and lead the programs forward. They're the ones with all the great ideas and the ones that really showing us how to improve our programs on a daily basis. So really have an opportunity for kids to walk into the office or see you at lunchtime or whatever it is and say, hey, I like this, but I think it might get better if you do that. So any kind of student leadership or student voice is what I'd go with.
That's great. That's great. I'm gonna go against my own question there, and I'm gonna say 2 because I was convinced one of you would say one of these things. And you didn't. So I'm going to say work hand in hand with your marketing department. Be friends. You're on the same team. Get tips and talk. I thought someone would say that for sure. But then my other one is coaches. Treat your coaches right. They are ambassadors for you and your program. Right. They're the ones with the kids when they travel. Get them gear. Make them feel good that they are coaching for your school. And that then trickles down. So great. Awesome. Five good tips there to take away as we turn our attention to the International School of Bangkok. Chris, it's time for our school spotlight. Let's roll it.
It's time for School Spotlight on Global Take, presented by School Rubric. Let's learn more about the stories and information from schools around the world. What's your school story?
Well, welcome International School Bangkok. We've got the spotlight, and it's an honor. And thank you to School Rubric for allowing us to get involved and get this. ISB was opened in 1951 as established, and we're currently celebrating our 70th anniversary. It was actually the first international school to open in Thailand and service the US Embassy families and other expatriates living in Bangkok at the time. We moved out to the current location that we're in now in the 1990s, which is just north of the city. And it's a purpose-built, lush, tropical community. It's amazing. There's so much greenery around here. It's wonderful. The inspiration and all the hard work from many of our history, we're blessed with magnificent and a beautiful campus with technology, facilities for the athletics, the arts, everything that anyone could possibly want, such an enriching environment. In 2018, we marked the opening of the Environmental Wilderness Campus, which is in a different province, a different area. So it's a kind of a second campus. And that's there to help kids, educating students to the challenges faced by the planet, but most importantly, Thailand with regard to the environment. So they go out there and learn a lot about the environment and what's going on, but also on the solutions and sustainability of living. So the expedition is unique in the scenario-based challenges